Julie to 1 million cups.
Thank you. It's really loud. It's really bright. You ever been on a roller coaster or waiting in line for a roller coaster and you just have to go to the bathroom so bad because you're so nervous even though you just went? That's what it feels like right now. So I just want to say thank you to Jason and to Cassie and my new acquaintance Nathan for encouraging me today and also for letting me speak today. So last week I wasn't here, but I was able to see it online, and Lauren was talking about the imposter syndrome. And I just thought that's really interesting. I've never heard that concept before, but I definitely know what that feels like. Sometimes I wonder, how did I get here, and why are you all here listening to me, and what do I really have to say that would really impact your life? But as I am growing in my confidence of my abilities, I do have something to offer. And I think one of the biggest things is that I care. And the people that hire me know that I care. And once I hear about their concerns, about what they need or what they're struggling with, I help them find solutions. My career in accounting began in high school, and I started taking classes, and it just came so easy for me, and I was good at it. But I was pretty irritated because I thought that meant I was a nerd. And that bothered me because I didn't want to be a nerd. But when I was in college, I started working for the family business, and my father's partner was a CPA. And so I started working with him, and over the years, he just taught me so much about accounting and processes and just so much more than I could have really gotten in a school. And so I really appreciate what he did for me. After a few years of being there, they saw what I was capable of, and my father had asked if I wanted to take over the business when he retired. I never did take the owner role because I got married, and then I had the first of two kids. There's my two babies. And I didn't want to miss out on raising them, and that was one of the best decisions I ever made. But the time working with Joe really helped me and really taught me so much. And he also taught me that loving and being good at accounting doesn't mean you're a nerd. So it was really good. We moved to Rockford in 2002, and I was not happy about it. I really did come kicking and screaming. And I swore on several occasions that I would never move here. I'm not sure what was so offensive to me at the time. I think it may just been me unconsciously fighting my destiny. And it just didn't seem like as exciting as the suburbs of Chicago. But as the years went by and we started raising our two kids, we adopted two more. And they were the same ages as the original set. And life was crazy. It was crazy wild in our little 5-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, and with 4 teenagers. But there in the midst of the crazy, Rockford became home. So I started Calvary Bookkeeping 10.5 years ago when I was working part-time and homeschooling my two kids. Then two, there was two at the time. And then life changed suddenly, and I needed to find full-time work. I called and asked a CPA friend of mine if he had any openings, and he didn't. So he said, I do know somebody that's looking for someone just a few hours a week. Are you willing to take that on? And so I was already working part-time. I thought, well, why not? Let's just see what happens with this. And that is how Calvary Bookkeeping was born. From my little basement office. There we go. Sorry, I lost my place. And it's been really fun to watch it grow into a real business with a logo and a website. But it's also been a real struggle to become an employer. It's much easier to just rely on yourself, knowing that you're doing the work and that you're doing a good job, you're treating them the way that you would want to be treated. But you can't grow like that. You can't grow. So I either needed to pull back and just cut back my hours and how many clients I was working with, or I needed to grow. And so I'm a go big or go home. So this space was empty, and somehow I had the vision to make it the one on the left. And it's been really fun to see that come about. Currently, we offer bookkeeping and payroll services, specializing in QuickBooks, and I've personally worked with QuickBooks for over 20 years. I know the ins and outs of the program and how to tweak it to make it work for a variety of businesses. I mostly work with small business owners from 0 to 5 employees, but have several larger businesses with up to 70. I do love what I do. I think I was born to do what I'm doing now. I enjoy variety. I love meeting new people. I especially enjoy solving problems and helping people. But having common sense and logical reasoning skills really comes in handy. I am very protective of my clients, and they have entrusted me with a very important thing in their life, and I don't take that lightly. It's almost like they have become a member of my family, and I cheer them on. And when things are going really well, and I try to encourage them when things are not going very well. It's also very rewarding when I can step into a small business owner's life and listen to what they're struggling with, brainstorm ideas, and come up with a workable solution for them. Most bookkeeping and accounting firms try to push and force a business owner into their mold and doing things the way they want them done. But business owners are already struggling with the various aspects of their business, and they already struggle with bookkeeping. It's not something that comes natural or easy for them. So why would I make them conform to my skill set? So together, we implement steps to lighten their load and in a way that is less intimidating for them. I let them tell me what they're comfortable giving us to do, and then I try to really meet them where they're at. My first real client is still a current client. And I won't use their name or industry just to protect their anonymity. But as I saw what their needs and I learned what their processes were when I first started with them, I began to see that things could be done faster, more efficiently, and I started bringing those to their attention. And then there was one day the owner was telling me about a particular report that he manually created every month that took many, many hours. And he was frustrated by that. And I was listening to him. He wasn't asking me for a solution. He just was expressing his frustration with how long it took. And so I asked him questions and tried to get an idea of what it is that he was looking to do. And I said, QuickBooks does that. And so I showed him. So the function that he was looking for, I don't know if you can see it, but under reports, you go to the regular company and financial and the profit and loss. You can just get a regular profit and loss. But what he was looking for was specific parts of his company that he wanted to track income and expenses and see how well they were doing, to see if it was making him money and if he wanted to continue doing that. And so it's not as easy as running a report. There's more that goes on behind the scenes in order to get that to work and to function right. But this is the outcome: is it's a profit and loss, and you have all the information for each department that you want to track. And then on the far left, it has a total of everything. And so it's so easy and customizable, and he was so excited to hear that there was a way of being able to do that, and he didn't have to spend hours every month doing it. Sometimes there are minor changes that can be made to an owner's chart of accounts that can use names that mean something to them. So there was one client that could not wrap his brain around the owner draw or the shareholder distribution account, and that's what owners use to put money in and take money out of the company. And we went round and round, and I realized after a few times of talking about it that he He couldn't get it, and that was okay. I said, what do you want to call it? And he said, can't I just call it cash out of pocket? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm just taking cash out of my pocket. And so we renamed it, and that was fine. I did have to call a CPA and explain, hey, just want you to know, we renamed the shareholder distribution. It's not that, it's cash out of pocket. He couldn't figure that out, so, and they don't normally like that. But from my perspective, if it gets the job done and it helps the customer understand their books better and how to read a report, who cares? It also surprises me how often reconciling their checking account doesn't get done. This is a big deal because there are times people don't realize a deposit didn't go through and they're missing money. And maybe they accidentally paid something twice, which happens. Or a check was presented twice. And with the new technology of mobile deposits, that happens more often now. There was a man I was helping a few years ago, and he allowed the previous bookkeeper to make adjustments to reconcile the account. I don't recommend that because there must be a problem. It's not always an inverted number. Sometimes you're missing a deposit and a check, and then you're not recording things correctly. So in his case, he was missing $7,000 to $8,000 in a credit card deposit. And so when I tracked it down, I ended up calling his merchant provider, his merchant services provider, and argued with them numerous times to get them to realize that they made a mistake. And it took them a while, but they finally conceded and said, oh, oops, we put it in the wrong person's account. And so they fixed it and put it in this gentleman's account. Another customer just last month, when we were reconciling his account, it's unusual for him that he doesn't have a check recorded because everything gets pushed out and printed through QuickBooks. And so I asked him about it, and he looked it up, and he told me what it was, and I went ahead and recorded it. But as I did that, I noticed that the check number had already been used, and already used for this particular customer from 2 years before. So I asked him, I said, can I see that? Can you pull it up on your online account? And he said, sure. And so we looked at it, and it was dated from 2 years ago. Even though the check had cleared once before, the bank allowed it to go through a second time. So we were able to call the vendor and say, you presented that twice. Can you give us our money back? And so he was able to do that. Otherwise, he would have been out almost $2,000. So as you can see, it's pretty important to make sure you reconcile your account after without making adjustments. As my business has grown over the years, and I've met so many wonderful people and amazing business owners, I've come to love Rockford. And it is my home. Rockford may not be perfect, but it does have a lot to offer. So if you indulge me a little. So it has beautiful summers in the Rock River nearby, and wonderful schools. That was the first day of school. Great middle school coaches and athletic programs and high school ones. And the YMCA has awesome programs, coaches, activities. There's all kinds of things that are available. Crazy winters, lots of snow. Music in the park. Oh, we used to go to those all the time. Just love them. We were supposed to go last night, but someone sprung this on me at the last minute. The Coronado has wonderful symphonies and plays and all kinds of fun stuff. Magic Waters. Wouldn't be Rockford without Magic Waters. The bike paths are great. I don't know if I'm a big biker, love to bike. So they have amazing places, and I've taken all of those pictures, so it's just beautiful. Rock Cut and camping, Edwards and Anderson Gardens, places to volunteer, and carnivals and fun events. And crazy fun people. I saw that guy yesterday on my way to work. I couldn't believe it. So for all these reasons, Rockford is amazing, and I just want to be a part of making the community here a wonderful place for people to live. We need a thriving business community to support it, and I'm on a mission to be as helpful as I can to make that happen. Thank you.
All right, let's give her a hand. Nice job. That was fantastic. So we do ask every presenter to answer a handful of important questions, which we think refines presentations and thought processes. And then we want to make sure that they've heard what we believe we've communicated. So these questions are, what is the product or service? In your words, what did you hear? What's the product or service? We don't need that for now. Bookkeeping, yes. Who's the target audience? Small businesses, yeah? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, anything else that you heard?
She does work with large businesses as well, but predominantly her.
Yeah, large businesses? Yep, so you work with large businesses as well, but you're predominantly a small business.
Yeah,
Yeah?
there's more of them around.
That's true, there are. By quantity, yes. And third, let's see here. What's amazing about the management team?
Well, the heart that she puts into it and the fact that she digs into the problems. I mean, the cost savings that we heard about some appliances, that was amazing. That was above and
Yeah.
beyond.
Heart, absolutely. And then the fact that you dug in to solve these problems. Absolutely. What else did you hear that's amazing about the management team?
She takes the time to fully understand the needs of her clients.
Yeah, she took the time to fully understand the needs of clients. Isn't this good?
I do love them.
Isn't this fun? Yes.
I would also add her passion. She said
Passion, yeah.
she looks at her clients as family members, I believe is what she said.
Yeah, passion. And you really do look at your family or your clients as family members. You're kind of an extension of your self.
I have many as friends now, which is
Yeah.
fun.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I just love them because they all have their own unique personality and they're all different, but in a good way. And you just learn to love them because you're dealing with such important things in their life. So yeah.
Yeah, so you the idea that you respect them so much that they would open up these things to you, and then you respect them as well because you want to take just good care of them
Yeah.
and their businesses.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah. What else did you hear?
Yeah, I'd like to piggyback on what Tom said, family first, and really get on because
Yeah, family.
when you're business, when you're building and you're treating like family, that shows before it's before.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you treat people like family. Yes. Wow, this keeps going. This is great.
Well, and just the molding yourself to the client rather than vice versa. Like you said, a lot of clients, they might think of things differently. The fact that you're willing to mold your process to each of them rather than saying one, this is the only way we do it, that's great.
Yeah. So you customize that and mold yourself to clients. That's man, this is great. Does this feel affirming? I know you were very nervous.
No, I'm better now.
about standing up
I do
here,
better
but
with answering questions. So
This is a safe environment.
yes, this is good.
It's a safe space. No judgment zone.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, the fourth question we have is, where are you stuck?
Where am I stuck?
Yeah, we're going to get the catch box out for this. We're going to launch it with where are you stuck. If you have something to throw into the mix, the collective stew of wisdom, the stew of wisdom here on Wednesday mornings at 1 Million Cups,
Yeah.
this is your opportunity. She's going to tell us,
Yeah.
she'll talk to us, and then I'll moderate a little bit. If you have something to say, we're going to throw the catch box, catch the catch box, talk into the catch box so that we can all hear you.
Okay.
Where are you stuck?
So about a little more than a year ago, maybe a year and a half, I took on partners, and it didn't go so well. And so I ended that partnership 3 months ago. It was a really tough year, but I wouldn't have moved to the new place without that. So I feel like God sometimes has a reason for things, and so it's okay. And so once I left the partnership, it took me a while to just get some ground back, and just figure things out and see what I wanted to do. I went to SCORE, I went to the Chamber, I went to the SBDC, and so I'm being coached by a few people. So it's really helpful. So they're helping me with some things like social media. I changed my website. But the thing that I really am stuck in is hiring and then monitoring their work. Because I care, because I love what I do, and I want the quality to be excellent, and that's what I strive for. I can't be monitoring everybody's work all the time. And so and I'm a little gun shy about hiring at this point because I've gone through quite a few, and I don't want to frustrate my clients, and I know I have frustrated some, but for the most part, they've been very understanding about, seeing me grow, and they want to see me successful just as I want to see them successful. So hiring and monitoring work is really a big thing for me, and so if there's ways to monitor that without micromanaging, because I don't want to do that either.
Oh, the balancing act.
Oh, yeah.
Working with people. Thoughts? Who's up? Yep. Here you go. Oh! Low.
Testing. Not Bayes, but anyway. Question is, so is it possible that you could, the new hire, allow them to work with customers that they bring in, and then you check in with those customers on a periodic basis to find out how that's working? In other words, there's a new hire, and that person brings in 10 people that want to work with them because of their relationship.
That would be great, but I'm not sure, how do you hire somebody who's got 10 people that can?
Well, I don't know where they're coming from,
Yeah.
but they came
Sure.
from that new hire. So there's a way, there's a kind of plus, but in other words, they're bringing in customers, new business or what have you, but you have to make sure that the work is being done properly. So periodically, I don't know if it would be 2 weeks or 30 days, that you would check in, have a way of checking with that new customer to find out, are they getting the services that they need? And therefore, that would be your area of micromanaging without micromanaging.
So that
that's my
sounds like
question. Is that a way? Is there a way that you can get that done?
So that sounds like two different things. One is hire somebody who already has experience and has some clients with them. I think that's what you heard. And then, or what's what I heard at least. And then the second,
Regardless of where the customers come from.
yeah. And then the second one was have some sort of surveying process or monthly check-in. And okay, that's interesting.
Would a monthly check-in be sufficient for you guys? Or would you prefer more than that?
Yeah, I think you'd need more than that. Just mentioning was just said. There may be a downside to this here, and that would be you may end up training your competition. They're coming in with their own clients.
Right.
They're working with you, and in the end, then they become your competition. They already have clients. They take them back. They're with you a little bit. They get their own footing, and then they take them back out, and then now they're your competition. So.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, I think it's, well, there you go. I think a good thing is when you're bringing people in, is recognizing, your philosophy and your expectation, and to being able to present that, and then, a monthly would be, you'd need to have seeing that a lot, more frequent than just a once a month check-in. So just meeting and seeing how things are going, and also recognizing, especially, QuickBooks and all that, you can see digitally what's going on. You don't have to be in front of them to see what they're doing.
Okay, other thoughts?
One hop.
Two hops. Everybody.
Dance parties later.
Was that
We'll
not,
turn
that's
the
not
ball
where we're
on.
headed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not that hip, Jason.
I disagree.
A couple questions, and I know it sounds weird because my answer for you for what you're stuck on, it's going to sound weird coming from a banker. It's policies and procedures. That's what will, I don't say standardize because you're not standard. You don't want your square peg going in round hole. You want to make it fit for your clients. But if you have standards and procedures and checklists, those kind of things that you want done, can handle it. But I'm not exactly sure when you said you're having trouble hiring, is that finding people, or the people that you find are just not up to par? So is that then a training issue? And I'm going to go back to, you may be training the competition, but since I deal with a lot of manufacturers, if you don't train people the right way, do you really want them working for you? You have to train your people to do the best job you can. If they go on to something else, that's great, good for them. But you've got to train your people for what you want them to do to turn out the best product. They may be competing with you someday, But the alternative is you got a bunch of crappy employees working for you, and your reputation's going down.
Right.
So what are you struggling with when you say hiring?
Just finding the right fit,
Okay.
making sure that they not only have the knowledge, but they do unto others. You know, they're family. You know, they're my friends. I care in a way that most places don't, and so I just want to make sure that I realize that they don't know them and they don't have that same relationship that I may, but they should be starting to build to that so that the person or the business owner then feels comfortable. You know, yesterday I had some guy call me who's a client. He hasn't been a long-standing client, and he emailed me, but I knew I was running errands that night, and this morning, first thing, I was going to be here, and my head was going to be elsewhere, and so I just called him. I just wanted him to be comfortable emailing when he has questions and not feel like he'll be put off or whatever. And so that's what I'm looking for. It's not just the head knowledge. It's not just the, I know QuickBooks. It's, are you treating people the way I would want to be treated?
I think you're looking for a level of engagement of your employees that you have. And actually, the RADC just had a really good presenter on engagement and engaging employees. But I think that's what you're looking for, because the head knowledge you're probably getting. It's you want your employees engaged as much as you do, and it's creating that culture of engagement. Mm-hmm. So I think how you do that is the hiring process for one, and how you get the employees engaged in what you do. I mean, when you're interviewing them, the conversation should probably focus on a lot of that kind of stuff, because if they're coming and they want to do bookkeeping, they can probably do it. I mean, it doesn't sound like they're making huge errors and stuff. It sounds like it's a customer service issue. Well,
that's okay. No, yeah,
so it's increasing, I think, the level of engagement is what it sounds like, more than anything else.
yeah. Well, what was the name of that website you gave me about hiring?
CriteriaCorp.com.
That's the right. Yes. So I did look them up.
Yeah.
See, yeah, I do what I'm told. Follow the rules.
Just like a good bookkeeper.
So I did, and say they have a free trial, and so I, of course, tried it out, and then I had my employee try it out, and so I think that might be a step in the right direction. Matt Simpson, he works for the city. He, through somebody who has a hiring business here in Rockford, and so I spoke with him, and so that might be a possibility when I'm ready to make that leap again. So
To clue all you in, we had a conversation at some point in time, not all that long ago, and the website we're talking about is a pre-hiring screening process, where if the skill set that you're looking for requires a person to do basic math, well, you can test them on basic math, because it's awkward to test them. Well, what would be worse is that you just assume they have basic math skills and then take your time to interview them to find out they don't have basic math skills. Second worst is to assume they have basic math skills, talk to them, and then in the interview ask them, what's 3 plus 5? And them not know. So you just screen it off in the front end with Criteria Corp. It gets obviously much deeper than that. So if you have somebody who has spatial reasoning skills, they can test spatial reasoning skills. If you need somebody who can write, they can test the writing and typing skills and all sorts of things. Screen them out so it's more than just the resume.
right, but it's got the personality thing too.
It does have
Yes,
personality
yes.
stuff too. So
I
if
love
you need,
that.
yeah, if you need particularly an extroverted individual or an introverted individual or a conscientious individual or
Our trust.
trust.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else on monitoring work?
Accountability. Keeping people accountable without micromanaging them.
Well, somebody helped me with that once. I've had several businesses, and I had a consultant come in and give me what they called a 515 report. And what we did, it was a checklist. I had 30 employees at the time, and yes, employees are scary because they there's technical skills and then there's engagement. And technical skills are real easy to screen out, and engagement not so much. But even with a simple checklist, you can encourage people to be more engaged. But what they did was they developed a checklist, a report that every department or every person took them 15 minutes a week to do it and took me 5 minutes a week to review it. And that kept us all engaged, and if you want to talk about that further, I can show you what we did. It was really good. And then something else, as an entrepreneur, you talk about training your competition. Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but maybe they want to own their domain within your company, which is very different. And if you can give them that, and be as engaged with your employees as you are with your clients. I mean, I had a gal that was obviously in the wrong business, and I worked with her for 2 years while she went and got her master's degree so she could move on and do something else. But we were very transparent and honest about it, and it made for a very, very good working relationship, even though she was in the wrong job. We knew she had the wrong passion after about 3 years with us. So we worked with her. But yeah, they'll never quite be as passionate as you because they haven't put the blood, sweat, tears, and money in that you have.
It's true. Thank you.
Have an answer, but I guess I was wondering if you could further clarify what the issues are you're having with your hires. Are they doing nefarious things? Are they making just bookkeeping issues, or not digging into finding, making simple, taking the easy road on an issue and making a correction?
Yes,
and
yes,
yeah, that's
yes,
all
and yes,
of the above.
yes. And each one does different things. One more than one was more about texting. They'd rather be texting all the time. And when you're charging by the hour, you're stealing from the client. You're not really stealing from me, you're stealing from them. And that really bothers me. So, that didn't work. So what else? Normally it's not nefarious, but I've never had anyone steal money or anything like that. It was more, they didn't take the time to do what they knew they needed to do. They made it look like they reconciled the account even though it wasn't. And so when I went back and I checked it, I went, that doesn't look right. And so I went back and I hit unreconcile. There was nothing reconciled. They put in an adjustment to make it look like it matched the bank statement. And so,
which is something someone might do
if they didn't want to work, they just want to show up for a paycheck. Get it done. Yeah.
So they're getting. Sorry, I'm still over here.
Yeah, there you are.
So are they getting? You said they're getting paid by the hour. Are they on for a certain number of hours a week, or is it based on workload, or?
Well, I pay the employee hourly, and so
Is it are they full time?
Like 8:30 to 5. Mm-hmm,
okay.
Yeah, and unless I hire a part-time person, and then it would be whatever their hours are.
Yeah.
But we charge by the hour. Sure. So if they're working on.
Yeah. So they're not rewarded for putting in more time. It's just they do what they do during the day, and then they clock out.
Right. So the young lady I have working for me now, love her. I could clone her. I would love to clone her. Just teaching her, listen, it doesn't matter if they ask you to do X, and it's not a part of what we normally do. If they're asking you to do it, just do it. We're getting paid by the hour. Sometimes there are things that, about each one, it's like, oh, it's not my favorite. It's a 1,000th receipt, and, it's boring or whatever, but you're getting paid. So who cares? If you're not doing it for this guy, you're going to be doing it for this guy, right? So does it really matter? And so she's just got such a good heart, and so she quickly, if my atmosphere, that's not the right word, but culture, that's the one, thank you. If my culture is being shown, then she's going to reflect that. And so she has. But not everybody does that. If they just want to show up and get a paycheck, then, their mindset's a little different. So, yeah, I'm just trying to find somebody who knows accounting. I think QuickBooks could be taught, but if I'm specializing in QuickBooks, it makes it harder.
You probably want to not teach them. Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, anyway.
Does that answer your question? I think so.
Yes.
Thank you.
What kind of experience level or education level are you looking for with your hires?
Well, They don't necessarily have to have an accounting degree, but they should have been in full charge bookkeeping for at least 5 years. And typically, I end up hiring somebody that is more 10 years or so. I haven't hired somebody that had less than that. So the last thing I want to do, I did spend some time because I thought, oh, this person I know, and they're really trustworthy, and they have great character, and I know they'd be great with the clients, and so I'll teach them. Well, it was taking forever. You know, and so when you don't have that knowledge, when they call and they say, hey, how do I fix this? They couldn't answer, and so it got deferred to me. And so if I'm busy or trying to get more business or whatever, it makes it difficult. So, did that answer it?
Yeah, I was just going to mention, you know, if you were looking, you know, someone who's just, say, fresh out of college with a bachelor's in accounting, a lot of colleges really want to build relationships with employers. And so that would help you get some feedback on a professor saying, wow, this is one of my best students, they really care, you know, they put together good work. That does put more responsibilities on you because that person's not going to be coming in and managing that relationship. It would be like you would have to manage the relationship with the client, but you might be able to delegate some of that more routine work as that person learns. So maybe not as much experience as you're looking for, but if you were willing to kind of venture into that space, I talked to some of the colleges and universities and even like up at Whitewater, that's not too far, and really get connections there where you can reach out and say, hey, I'm looking for someone. For instance, I went to Whitewater and the business school would set up interviews, you know, so you could go up to Whitewater, professors would put people's names forward and you could interview 6 to 10 people in a day. They'd set aside a room and you could go do that and know that they're coming with recommendations.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great idea.
That is. Thank you.
We just got a couple minutes left here. Anything else anybody wants to add to the mix? All right. Well, we are going to ask you one question. I don't think I prepped you on this. We're going to ask you one question, which is, what can we, as the 1 Million Cups population, do for you? How can we support you?
Well, I guess if you like what you heard, remember that I'm here. And not just for clients, but if you know somebody who sounds like they would be a good fit for me to hire, that would be great too. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks. Thanks. We've got a cup. It's coming here from off stage here. Thank you. We present every presenter with this 1 Million Cups coffee mug as our thanks and your congratulations.
Thank you. It's my trophy.
It is your trophy. We were going to put a trophy with a little your head on it. We're going to get you a little bobblehead, Julie bobblehead.
I could do it. So, I'll just display
But we got your
proudly that
coffee
I
mug
made it
instead.
through.
You did. You made it
I
through,
did.
and it wasn't. It was great.
Okay.
You did a fantastic job. Didn't you do a good job? Let's give her a hand.
Thank you.
And that's the purpose of this community. Not only to get people out here and give them an opportunity to present their great concepts and what they're doing, but also present their struggles and the things that maybe we collectively can help resolve. And all the great ideas that are thrown into the mix. So maybe something sticks for Julie. Maybe one of these ideas sticks for you. But if you're not here and you don't listen, you'll miss out. Next week we got Rhonda with Pure Simple Self. Yep, she's our presenter next week. We also do want to again give another round of thanks to our coffee. What's it called? Sponsor. Sorry, coffee sponsor. I was looking for that word. I don't know what I was coming up with. It's just coffee person. Also, your presenter today, Calvary Bookkeeping. Let's give her a hand for coffee. I don't know where we would be if we didn't have coffee.
In bed?
That's probably true. We'd just be sleeping. No coffee today. All right. Well, this is your opportunity to get connected with Julie, get connected with each other. It's a wonderful day outside. If you have any events that you want to attend, rewatch the broadcast there at the beginning. And go have a fantastic day. Thanks for coming.